Is CGC intentionally trying to put themselves out of business? Well, Northwoods Cardboard Gang, today we will take a look at what CGC did and what implications that could have for your overall view of CGC right after this. Alright guys, I'm Andy with Northwoods CCG, and today we're going to be talking about this company right here. That's right, everybody is familiar with CGC cards looking like this. Well, today we are going to be talking about what CGC has done and what that could actually mean for your overall investment into CGC cards. And is there still possibly an opportunity in investment that we've been hearing for some people when it comes down to this particular deal that they're doing? So today, first thing we're going to take a look at is there's a video that was released by CGC. If anybody has not seen it, then we are going to go ahead and play a clip of this for you right now.
Two industry heavyweights, the choice for world-class expertise, consistent grading, advanced technology, the best holders, the strongest guarantees. Join forces as one. All your cards, all in one place. Enjoy full access without a paid membership, a simplified submission process, affordable prices, a sleek upgraded label, and a market-friendly Gem Mint 10 grading scale. Driven by collectors and dealers and backed by the Certified Collectibles Group. CGC Cards plays to win because competition makes us better. And we're here to be the best grading service for all your cards.
Alright guys, as you can see in the video, that CGC has done some major changes, and this was the announcement that they've been kind of teasing for the last few days on their actual Instagram and other social media sites, is that there would be a big announcement coming soon. Well, today they released that big announcement, which is going to be CGC is now combining with SG, which is actually their sports card grading service, with their Pokemon grading service or their TCG grading service, all into one house. And by doing so, they've done one thing that is, first off, a really big change, which is going to be removing the label from what we see today, which is this one. This is what everybody's familiar with. Once again, it's familiarity when it comes down to it. If I put that behind me, as you can see, the CGC one stand out, it's now acknowledging, you know, that brand, that's brand marketing, you understand what that looks like, and then that's what you're getting. So when you look at these slabs, you know they're CGC. I can hold this, as we heard a couple other places say, I can hold this across the room and go, hey, what's this? And they're going to say it's a CGC slab, right? It's distinguishing. You're distinguishing that. Now they went to this slab, which to me, it doesn't look bad. Don't get me wrong. To me, it looks like they've copied every other slab that's out there, and that was always the nice thing about CGC is that they were a very distinct slab. You knew it was a CGC slab, but now they've gone to this new label. Top of it, you won't know or have that distinguishing factor like behind me, where you can tell a CGC slab is this or that, or is it the AGS slab that's behind me? Is it something else? It just creates a whole new level of confusion. The other part of it that they did do is, which is really, really bad to me, and overall a horrible, horrible idea that's just going to completely obliterate them and the value. I feel sorry for people that have actually put a lot of time and money into investing into these particular cards, because of the fact that now they have completely changed the grading scale again. That's right, they have completely changed the grading scale once again, which is just craziness when we talk about the consistency that's necessary when it comes down to a grading company. Now, we all got mad when PSA kind of made things a little bit stricter to get that PSA 10, which to me means that the older PSA 10s are now weaker, the new ones are stronger. It's one of those things I really don't agree when you change your grading scales, but to the extent that PSA did, to me, was a little bit more acceptable. Yeah, it's a little bit more difficult. Yeah, it changes it, makes some weaker, some stronger. But overall, there wasn't this huge, big upheaval when it comes down to the grading system. The one big thing that we are seeing with CGC, which I do not like, is that they are completely changing the grading scale. Now they're removing the 9.5. And if you have a 9.5, guys, so for example, I'm putting this one up here because this 9.5 now in CGC is a 10. If I were to just take that card, send it to CGC today, get it reholdered, and pay a $5 fee, which to me is a complete money grab now. You're having people send cards in, you're charging them $5, and you got to pay the shipping to get it there, and you're going to get it reholdered, and you are going to be getting a CGC 10 guaranteed. What changed on that card to increase the value from a 9.5 to a 10. Nothing. You've done nothing. You just sent it to them, right? So now you're paying the pay to grade system. Now I want a better grade. Here at $5, give me a 10. What does that mean for 9.5s? Now are they all 10s? Yes, that's great. Now, here's where I'm going to sit here and really, really put up my gripe. And this is always my gripe when it comes down to grading. This is why I've always been a huge proponent to not grading a lot of cards, just because of the fact that consistency is key. If you're going to brand your company, if you're going to brand CGC, you need to stay consistent once your branding is complete. You had a company. You were probably the third best company right now for grading. Yes, Beckett is probably number 2 because of their black label. Their black label was the distinguishing factor. Beckett was going to do a similar thing back in March 31st. They announced that they were going to be changing their grading scale also for those 10s and allowing all these different 10s. And by April 3rd, they completely decided, no, that's not going to work, because they listened to their people, their fans, their users, and they decided, no, this is bad. We're not going to do it. We're going to leave things the same. Once again, Beckett, good decision. CGC, I don't know who they talked to. Obviously, it wasn't the people that used them, because this is horrible. We're changing the whole scale. We're changing the way that this is working. They're getting rid of subgrades, which is another big proponent to why I like CGC, was because of the subgrades on those cards. If I send a card in for grading and I was wondering why it didn't get a 10, I could look at the subgrades, just like this one here, and go, okay, it got a 9 on the centering. It got a 9.5 on the surface. It got a perfect on the corner and got a perfect on the edges. Now, if I disagree with that, I could maybe send it in and go, hey, maybe the centering's a little bit better than what you originally thought. Yeah, you could try and do that. Now, hey, I can get a 10 just by sending it in. Once again, consistency is always a big proponent to me, and one of those things that drives me crazy on grading companies, and why I have really been against grading in the past, and why I'm still really against grading in the future, is I see the investment and the opportunities for profit in it. But overall, for myself, I'm really not a big proponent of it, because once again, another grading company is showing that at any point in time, they can completely change the direction on how they grade, how strong they grade, the way they grade, and it's going to completely affect how things are moving forward at the end of the day on your actual cards. And I don't like that. Overall, if you're going to do grading, stay consistent. The most consistent companies to me are the ones that I would probably go with grading. Once again, it puts another proponent to AGS with the AI grading. Interested on consistency? Stay tuned. I'm doing a video on the consistency. It came out of the live. We'll see how it does. Hopefully it is consistent. That'd be really good. But overall, I think that that's one of those things that we can see the consistency occurring on some of these cards, and the overall consistency continuing. If consistency is there, to me, that's a strong grading company. That's exactly what you need. CGC, changing things, making these drastic changes on the grading is not consistency. Changing their label, that's not consistency. Granted, PSA has changed your label slightly. Granted, they added the hollow foil, they added some security measures, and of course updated the back of the tag so that it had the QR codes so that you could scan them and actually look them up on PSA's website extremely quick. That was a benefit overall, but definitely, if you look at an old PSA card to a new PSA card, you can definitely tell it's a PSA card. They haven't done any major changes at that point. So there's some really bad things that are occurring with CGC. Once again, is this what's going to be a dumpster fire that completely puts them down? It could be. Overall, it definitely is a big issue. I feel sorry for people that have spent a lot of money. Myself, I haven't put a lot of money into CGC because they were such a new grading card company. I was really concerned at what could happen futuristically. This is just another nail in the coffin for the reasons that I probably will not be turning to CGC as a grading company in any way, shape, or form now. Once again, the labeling, I could get past the labeling. The changing in the grading system, I cannot. That's just not a kosher thing to do, and overall, I think that that's going to cause a lot of issues going forward. Now, at the beginning of this, I said that there was potentially a possibility for some Pokemon investing in this realm and this dumpster fire of CGC, and the reason I say that is it's going to be the CGC 9.5. If they are removing the 9.5 out of circulation, and people are going to be sending in 9.5s in order to be able to get 10s. Yes, they're going to get free 10s out of a 9.5. What does that mean for 9.5s futuristically? That means there could be a lot fewer of them out there in the near future. As more and more people, of course, are chasing the Covenant 10 number on top of a graded card, that could potentially leave a vacuum in the 9.5 slot. Now, Is this a for sure thing? Is this something that I would be sitting there putting a ton of money into 9.5s? Probably wouldn't put a ton of money into it. If I had 9.5s, I would probably hold on to them to see how they perform. Overall, I could see there potentially being a uptick in the cost of the original 9.5s in the CGC system if they fully do go through with this new system. 9.5s are going to become rarer. There's going to be a lot fewer of them because people are going to want that 10. And by doing so, that's going to create an upheaval of a lot less of them out there. Now, double-edged sword to it is that, hey, it's a 9.5. 9.5 isn't 10. Thus, the value goes down. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see how that would play out. Once again, I would not put a lot of money into it. And if I had them already, I would probably hold on to them. I wouldn't send them in for reholdering just because of the fact that, hey, it might be a little bit more valuable because it's a 9.5 rather than the 10 that they could be getting, because people are going to be now questioning the value of a CGC 10. Yes, granted, there are two different steps of CGC 10. There is the pristine and perfect. Getting different labels that I will show next to me here, of course, is the opportunities on those. But once again, definitely something that's going to put a lot of questions into what was the original grade of that 10 when it comes forward. Was it at one point a 9.5 and now it's a 10? And the other part of it we got to look at too is a potential flood of 10s that will be entering the market when it comes down to these 9.5s going to CGC, getting graded, and then getting dispersed quickly as 10s before the market collapses in that value. So overall, I see some really big issues with the 10 market right now on the CGC side. The 9.5s to me as an investment spectrum could be a possibility. Granted, it's going to be a lot of things lining up to make it work and hopefully hoping that it works right. But it's definitely one of those things that if you already have them, might be worth the risk to hold on to them to see how they perform here in another 6 months. Granted, could CGC maybe back out in this? I'm thinking not, because of the fact that they did the video. They've already showed the slabs. They're obviously already probably using the slabs in order to create the video. And there's probably already these slabs going out to people for individuals that have recently submitted to CGC. Overall, I think this could be a very damning event when it comes down to CGC. Once again, I didn't mind their services. I think that they were a clutch company that came in when we needed them for grading, when the market was booming and when everything was going great. Overall, I did like their original consistency, but then they kind of changed that, and then they had you had to pay the subgrading in order to get the pristine 10 or the perfect 10 at the time. So there's a lot of things that they did, and then they did change that to offer it to other people and offer that perfect 10 when it came down to other cards. But overall, I thought that CGC had some really good things going for it. I saw some good opportunities in CGC, but now after this recent turn of events, I definitely want nothing to do with CGC any longer. Once again, they've lost another potential customer, someone that was potentially looking at them overall, and with all the errors that they've been making, all the things they've been doing weird with the error cards anyways, definitely was a turnoff for myself to begin with. But now this is just kind of the final nail in the coffin. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think that CGC is going to save it? Do you think CGC doing these changes is good? Is this an overall good thing for the company itself? Is this good for the people that have been grading with them? Or is this going to be a complete dumpster fire and potentially destroy the company in general, to where they're not going to be a reputable grader any longer with all the changes and the complete and total revamping and overhaul of their grading system and their slabs? Once again, guys, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. If you do like this kind of content, as always, be sure that you hit that subscribe button so you know when we're doing these kind of videos. Also, hit that like video. It's a lot of help for the video. If you did like the content that came through on this video, make sure you hit that like. And last but not least, make sure you hit that notify so that you know when these videos are coming up, and keep up to date with what's going on in the Pokemon TCG. Other than that, guys, if you do like this, check out the two videos. I'll put them at the end of the video, as I always do. We will see you next time here on Northwoods TCG.